So Apple just hosted their event today, and on this edition of the Tech Talk, I wanted to go over my thoughts and opinions on the event and also on the items and products that they offered at this event and how it relates to innovation in the future with Apple. So let's get into it. So today, Apple announced their new generation of devices across all their hardware spectrum. So you have your iPhones, you have your Apple Watches, and then you have your AirPods as well. Now, they didn't announce iPads. They usually do that at a separate event. So we'll see about that later when that gets announced. But I'm not really going to go over each of the individual items of this event because really the reality of it is they're just to me refreshes of prior generation devices. You have your Apple Watch Ultra 3, you have your Apple Watch SE 3, and then you have your Apple Watch Series 11. And again, they're iterative refreshes of prior generations of devices. And so those in particular I really am not going to go over because that's what they just appear to be. There's some improved specs, there's certain little minute features and functions that have improved. Like, for example, 5G is now integrated into cellular for watches now. Before it was just limited to 4G LTE. So that is a nice little improvement. And of course, an increase in the toughness of the screens and certain features for the always on display have been updated and upgraded. And of course, the new iOS 26, or I guess it would be Apple Watch OS 26. And so all that to say is, it just doesn't feel like there was a lot that went on there. And I watched it, and it was cool to see. They had a cool video about, the impact that Apple Watches have on helping people, saving them, whenever they had a situation where they were in trouble. And so that's awesome that they have a feature like that. Definitely really cool to see. And definitely would like to see more smartwatches be able to integrate that kind of feature and function. So, I want to lean a little bit more into the iPhone side of things specifically because this is where I had spoken before in one of my earlier videos about Apple being able to innovate. Can they do that again? It's been so long since we've seen innovation come out of Apple in terms of like just brand new powerful hardware. And so I wanted to go over and see what you guys think. So we have three major models for the iPhone 17 series of devices. You have your iPhone 17, then you have your iPhone 17 Pro, and then your iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now they added a new category called the iPhone 17 Air, which is what they're spinning as the newest, greatest innovation. And so it's very thin, one of the thinnest smartphones ever made, let alone the thinnest iPhone ever made. And so they're touting that as this next generation innovative device. And I have to disagree with that. I really do because to me, we first of all we've seen thin phones. You have Samsung came out with it first, recently as far as advertising it and showcasing it. You have the S25 Edge, and that device is very, very thin. Also, designed to be this cutting edge, slim device that you can use. But at the end of the day, it's still a smartphone brick device. There's nothing in it that makes me go, man, I want this device because of how small and thin it is. And so this goes back to my thoughts on Apple. I honestly, as far as the event go, it's great. I'm glad they had a great event and everything. But while I wouldn't say I'm disappointed in the traditional sense, I'm not surprised by how things went today. It was very much as it has been the past 5, 6 plus years. New versions, iterations, a couple little things that they add to make it seem like this is the latest and greatest, which it is. But they really didn't do anything different. To me, like having a thinner phone is great, but that's been done before. It's not new. And so I really think that Apple needs to take a look at themselves and say, hey, what are we doing here? Is this how innovation is going to be? Just making thinner phones, doing slight module upgrades here and there? Like, what's the next big thing? We need the next big thing because I don't know how long Apple and any other smartphone company for that matter are going to be able to sustain this. There has to be a change, I think, for it to be a long term solution because people, again, are going to get tired of these phones because they're all the same. Nothing's changed. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Of course, this is going to sell like hotcakes. There's just no doubt about that. That's just the reality. You have your Apple fans, they're going to get the newest and latest model every year, no matter what. But for example, my wife has an iPhone 13, works perfectly fine, has plenty of storage, takes great photos, and she hasn't felt the need to upgrade. When I talked to her today about these devices, she said, well, I mean, sounds samey to me. It doesn't seem like they've done too much that would make me want to upgrade to the latest and greatest. And so, I would love to see Apple do something different, but we're going to have to wait another year to see if they have something new up their sleeve when it comes to smartphones. Now, the rumor is that next year they're going to have their iPhone folding device, which, from what I understand, is why they're making the Air now, so that way they can kind of get practiced in thin devices so that they can make it foldable. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think that's going to make a big difference, but it may. Again, foldables have been around for a while, so I think Apple would have to do something really clever and innovative with a folding iPhone to make a big difference. And so, but those are my thoughts on this event. I really isn't much to me to report. I'll leave a link in the description of Apple's site with the information on the devices and everything. But I really would love to see something different from Apple. It's time for innovation to happen again in the smartphone industry. It's just I'm so done with iteration. We just had it for too long. We need something different. And I was really hoping that maybe this time Apple could take the lead again and do it again, but they haven't. So, but what are y'all's thoughts on this? Do you agree with my thoughts on this? Do you disagree? Do you feel this is innovative? This is something that is the right direction for Apple to take? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this, and we can talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so when I upload new video content for you guys, you'll get notified about it. So I love to continue talking about this with you guys and just hearing what you have to say, and love sharing my thoughts on this. So thanks for hearing me out today. I really appreciate you guys. You've been great. Thanks for looking at my content on my channel. It's great to see that engagement. So I really do appreciate it, guys. So I hope you guys have an amazing day today. And thanks for coming to my Tech Talk. And I can't wait to see you all in the next episode. Until then.